Hey everyone, so by the time you see this next video, it will be my birthday. I will be 30 years old. Yes, I know, I'm getting old. Please don't remind me. Um, but I figured what a better way than to celebrate my 30th birthday other than with you guys. And so this video I took a page out of Jenna Marbles' ideas. This video is titled 30 Life Lessons I Learned in 30 Years, and in no particular order, we're just going to run through them. I put a lot of thought into this list, and I actually created the list. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yes, I created a list. It took me some time. I put a lot of thought into it. So here we go. Keep a journal, whether it's a physical, tangible journal or an electronic journal. It allows yourself to reflect and grow as a person and look back on the mistakes you've made, and hopefully you can share that with other people. It's also a good therapy, and guess what? It's free. Um, this next one I don't recommend doing, especially since I'm 30 years old. Don't line your age up on the counter in shot glasses and think that you will make it to the end. I tried it, it didn't work. I was hungover the next day, and it felt awful. No amount of Tylenol in the world could cure that problem. And something else that I stole from Jenna, the wording's not exactly as she said it, but you'll get the idea if you watch her video. Um, Never say something behind someone's back that you are not willing completely to say to their face. It'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. And then if that person does come to you, you can say, yes, you know what? I said that shit about you. It's me. Get over it. I'd rather say I can confidently say, hell yeah. It avoids a lot of problems too. Um, this next one I struggled with a lot because when you move around a lot, you're traveling, it's sometimes kind of hard to know uh, appropriate seasons, especially if you're so stuck in one season for so long. So wear appropriate footwear. Don't wear sandals when it's like winter outside up north. You will be the only idiot that everyone's laughing about and pointing fingers at. Um, and for the record, um, not wearing appropriate shoes at appropriate seasons will give you foot problems, lower back pain. And I know this personally because I had to go to physical therapy for a good 6 months because I had a whole bunch of problems. Physical therapy was like working out. I was sweating to death. People were doing things to me that I never done before. um, I was one of those guys that grew up uh, in the South where it was always sunny and 85 plus degrees year round, so it was open-toed shoes, slides, sandals, socks, like you name it. Like who wore shoes, sneakers every single day? Like you got to be out of your mind, right? Especially when there's the beach down there. Um, know a moment when you're completely done with something. I say that because so many times, I myself see it too, but so many times I find people don't know when to walk away from something or someone, and they keep investing and keep creating something that will never happen. And sometimes it takes away from the opportunities that the universe is going to give you when you're so narrow minded and so focused on that one thing that you really want. But sometimes it's just not meant to be. Sometimes you got to know when people are bad and cut your losses. Sometimes you got to know when to move forward so that way the universe can open up more doors for you. This is something I did as well. If you have the opportunity to move somewhere, do it at least once in your life while you're young. It'll give you a lot of time to explore new things, meet new people, and you're going to be by yourself a lot, so it'll give you a lot of time to reflect, um, give you a lot of time to think about things and put life into perspective. Um, it'll help you discover what you're good at, and sometimes, I think I have the best conversations with myself. I'm not crazy, so don't even think that. My next one, always sweat. Now, if you were like me, or are like me, I don't recommend doing what I did, which was being unactive for so long and thinking you could just walk into the treadmill and just go for an hour straight. Like, bam, I'm going to hit this treadmill really hard. It got to the point where I remember I was like completely soaking wet. My shirt looked like I had just gotten out of a pool. The room was spinning. I could not stand on my own 2 feet. And nor did I drink any water while I was exercising. It was so bad that they would not let me leave the physical building until I cooled off, until I sat in a chair and proved that I was not going to pass out. Um, Another tip, drink a lot of water. You'll find it useful. It's free advice, guys. Come on. Um, and if you're going to pass out, please tell somebody. Like, I haven't done that yet, thankfully, but do tell someone. Always give credit where credit is due. That's very important. And know that karma is real and it's not always your job to make sure that it gets served. You will find what comes around goes around. I know it's a cliche. People say it all the time. Oh, well, it's not my job to do this, this, and this. Or that bitch is get what's coming to her. Don't worry about that. The universe has a funny way of working things out all on its own without you trying to be judge, jury, and executor in someone else's life. Learn the power of the word no. It's very important that you understand there's the power in the word no. If you don't, you will be taken advantage of. People will walk all over you. Uh, People will think that, oh, well, this person knows. They're going to just do it. They're going to take care of everything. I don't have to do anything. Well, no, because you're going to sacrifice your time, your wealth, and your health to be a people pleaser. And that, my friends, will make your life very, very short. So don't be a person that's, yes man to everything. Now, I'm not saying don't say yes to people, but just be uh, be picky, be selective about who you give your time, energy, and money and effort to. Because yes, there's charity, things like that. I can understand all that, but if people aren't adding to your life, they are subtracting from you and taking away your value when you could be out helping someone else in this world. I mean, I remember not so much this year, but last year I worked my ass off. I nearly doubled my salary just on overtime alone, and I paid taxes out the ass you would not even believe. And everyone's like, oh, well, T Rose will do it. Let T Rose do it. Just call T Rose up. He has the answer. And I wasn't even on the job half the time. So, just something to think about. So, my next one is always know what are goals and what are dreams and learn the difference between them. Everybody dreams, everyone has goals, but you need to accept the fact that some things are just not going to happen. It's harsh reality. But if you really want something, you will find the energy, the time, and the effort. And you will make steps toward making that goal or making that dream more of a reality rather than just living in fantasy land. My next one, I don't know if people keep shoeboxes anymore. We do live in a electronic tech gadget society, but if you can, keep a shoebox. And from time to time, just look at the things you put in there, whether it's letters that you wrote to an ex-girlfriend or to your secret crush, or Christmas cards, birthday cards, get well cards, flowers, prom pictures, or whatever the case may be. It's always good to look back and see what kind of footprints you've left in this universe. Next one is pretty big. Learn to be resourceful, because believe it or not, at one point in my life was homeless on multiple times. I've lived out of my car multiple times. I've lived in homeless shelters multiple times. I've lived on the streets multiple times. But I was always resourceful. I always knew, even when I was in school, like high school, college, I always knew that my knowledge was power and that power was leverage. Somebody out there will see value in you and worth in you and will appreciate it. Some of the things I learned very quickly, when you're living out of your car, for example, is where do you park your car? What places are open 24/7? What's the police patrol like? Are you going to get caught? Is someone going to report you? When do the cops come in for their donuts? You just have to be, your sense of awareness is really heightened. But at the same time, you also have to know how to get your basic needs met: food, shelter, love and belonging, and the other ones. I think this is another one that I took from our famous Jenna Marbles. You don't always have to take your life seriously, but always take your life's education and higher education seriously. And also, guys, if you have access to the internet, you can't tell me you don't know something. I mean, there's no more excuses for being a fucking moron. I'm sorry, but your your inability to be a go-getter or to seek knowledge, truth, or understanding, or answer questions, for God's sake, it's called Google. And if you have an Apple product, it's called Siri. So I'm sorry, but there are no more reasons that you should not know something. The information is out there. Your inability or lack of inability or whatever it may be is not an excuse. If you want something, you will work toward it. Like, this is not rocket science. Like, even when I was down on my luck, I always would talk to people. You never know who's going to add value to your life, and you never know who else's day you're going to make. I'm a believer that everybody is here for a reason, and it is the struggles and the challenges in life that we go through that help us, but at the same time help someone else. And you never know. You might make a new friend or something, It goes along with that you need to put positive energy out in the universe, because the universe will always give it back to you. And focus on the things that you have and the things that you don't have. Now, for me, this has been a struggle because I was always comparing myself to, famous people, celebrities, Hollywood. And then I would question, why don't I have that? What's wrong with me? Why am I not doing this? My life's miserable, blah, blah, blah. Get over it. Be a trailblazer. Be a trendsetter. Know that your job is not your mission. So if you're not getting paid, don't be working off the clock. You're just making someone else rich, and you're going to tire your ass out. Don't do it. Because if you don't take care of your health, It'll die along with you. Um, and you won't accomplish your dreams, your passion, your purpose or your goals if you're dead. Don't live off credit. This one I learned the hard way in my 20s and my early 30s. Early 30s. I'm only like a week or so, not even. Don't live off credit. Like I remember when Suze Orman was on TV, she said, "Why would you want to buy things with money you have to impress people you don't like?" It's just why. Um, I believe that you know, by the time I'm 30, which I am today, you can count on one hand how many real close friends you have, and that means you're pretty much set for life. Because those people don't care what you can charge. They they've seen your good, they've seen your bad, hell, they've seen your worst. And they appreciate you for you, not what you can charge, not the lifestyle you can pretend to have. Um, this next one is kind of big. Life. It's about life. I acknowledge the fact that I'm trying to figure it out every day. I don't have the answers, but I do choose to surround myself with people who are adding value to my life and who are smarter than me. I am always learning and wanting to learn. Admit when you are wrong and apologize for it. It's better to hear "I'm sorry, I was wrong" than for your ego and attitude and for you to be up on this pedestal to take a hit than to admit and say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Can you forgive me?" Like I know with me, for example, when people apologize to me, that shows me that they acknowledge that and that they care and that they have a sense of value and belief. It also makes me feel like I'm not the only one in a conversation too. Why do people want to talk to somebody that thinks that they're a know-it-all? Be humble. It's it's okay to apologize if you're wrong, bottom line, but just do it. Learn to love and learn that love is not enough. Know that happiness is not for sale and that change is a must. I'll let you sink on that for a little bit. Find your passion and invest in matters and values that matter to you. Take your dreams seriously. Your platform is wherever you are, no matter where you are. You don't need a fancy TV show on cable television to be able to make a difference in this world. Don't let anyone, including me, tell you that you can't do something. Invest in yourself, but remember to become not so busy to the point you forget to sit in the park, watch the trees, smell the flowers, and hear the birds. Because sometimes some self-reflection and some unplugging, as I call it, like unplugging from everybody and everything, sometimes it'll do you good. Hashtags. Okay, so Twitter blew up in my 20s. Hashtags. Please learn how to use them. It's a pound sign, but it does have a purpose. Don't go putting hashtags on every other fucking word, people. You're going to drive people nuts. Fitness trackers. Get 250 steps a day. Not a day. Lazy fucks. Just kidding. 250 steps an hour. I have one on my watch now. I have an Apple Watch and I have a Fitbit, so invest in yourself, folks. Learn how to use a crock pot. It is the best damn thing in the world. I recently discovered it. I got the idea a couple weeks ago that I would just throw some random shit in a crock pot, some vegetables and things like that. You can actually check that video out. I did post it online. That was my first attempt on my own to ever use a crock pot, but I tell you what, get a recipe. Don't do what I did. Yes, it was edible, but still, you'll see. Just try it. Um, a car. Don't buy a new car. Don't ever buy a brand new car right off the showroom floor. I made that mistake. I bought a brand new car, and about a year and a half later, it's now worth less than half of the balance left on the loan. And I'm still paying for it. I'm paying for something that is not worth the money. Get your head around that, huh? I remember when Susie, was on air, she used to say, don't buy a car on credit cards. Don't buy a car, over 3 years. Pay more than the minimum. Put some money down, that way your monthly payments are lower. And this part here really upset me when I went to go get my car. The stupid salesman, he said to me, Mr. Rose, how many credit cards do you have? Because you understand the more you put down today, the lower your monthly payments will be. Now, I'm no genius, but I could tell you that under my loan, the percentage was lower than what it would have spanned out amongst 8 credit cards for an interest. Like, mind-blowing, right? My last one, a vision board. Please do one. Look at it periodically. Keep yourself on check and on reality. And ask yourself if everything that you're doing today, is it bringing you closer to your dreams? Or is it pushing you further away? Because your dream is here, and this is where you want to go. So, are you doing the things that bring you closer or further away? So there you have it, folks. Sorry for the long ass video this week. That is 30 life lessons I learned in 30 years. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I try to put out new videos every Wednesday/Thursday. And make sure you follow me on my other social network pages. Until next time.